Hello and welcome back everyone to the PyCalc Python classes. In this video we shall be learning to code our first program in Python, that's printing the statement hello world in our programming language, that's Python. So how to do that? Primarily we have to open the IDLE shell 3.9.4 as discussed in our previous video, and then we have to write our code. To do this we will use the print function in Python, and this function is used for printing any statement in Python. So the print function is used to print not only statements but also any other object in Python like lists, tuples, but we shall be discussing lists and tuples in our next videos or in the later part of our course. But for now, the print function prints any statement and any object in Python, and while printing an object it converts that object into a string and then prints that statement. So let's see in action how Python print function works. So the syntax for print is write print and then opening brackets. You have to open a double quotes, and single quotes will also work here, so that's not a problem. So you can use either single quotes or double quotes. So type hello world because this was our target, and then closing brackets, and then press enter. So Python prints the statement hello world because we gave the print function as a command to IDLE shell 3.9.4. In this way we can print any statement in Python as well as any other object. For example, I'm giving an example of a list, but I'm not revealing what lists are, just showing an example. So let's define a list. And you get the printing of this list. But while we're using the print statement in list, this means that this list will not remain a list anymore. This has been converted into a string. Now what's a string? A string is a sequence of characters that we use in Python. Like hello world is a sequence of characters and we are writing inside double quotes or single quotes, that's a string. And we are not clarifying what lists are, but you can take list as a sequence of numbers or any other object in square brackets separated by commas. Like you can also define a list of fruits like apples, oranges, pineapples, lemons in closing brackets. So that's a list, and this is a very informal way of explaining it. May not be the correct manner, but since you are all beginners, we are just defining the list in this way. Like you, for example, make a list of all the fruits that you want to buy from the supermarket. So you make a list equals opening square brackets and oranges, pineapples, lemons, and then closing brackets, and then print it. So this is a list, but this works differently in Python than our normal list that we make for buying things. So that's a different case altogether. And notice this part. We are defining the list first. Means we are telling Python what's the list here. It's a series of numbers from 1 to 5 in closing brackets separated by commas. And then we are printing that list. This is called initialization. So in our next video we shall learn how to initialize objects in Python. So see you there.